Okay guys, this is the power of visualization part 3. Check out the next clip and come straight back to me. And remember, the thing to note here is precisely what Jesus says and what Jesus does.
I worship God, and my faith is strong.
Rise and walk.
Okay, so let's cut it there. We all know how it plays out in the end. The cripple, after 20 years of not being able to walk, paralyzed from the legs down, just on the simple word, the word of who he believes is Christ, who he believes is the Son of God, yes, has instructed him to walk, he believes. Now that's the key thing. The power of the mind here is the key thing. With the right motivation, with the right incentive, when you're surrounded by people who believe, when you believe, anything is possible. Understand this. Single difference here is he was in the company of who he believed was the Son of God. That alone was enough to inspire him, yes, to believe that he can walk. Now that power of belief transferred right through his body and his being. Likewise, he was surrounded by other people who were witnessing that moment, who were also in the presence of who they believed in as the Son of God. Right then in that moment, all Jesus needed to do was reach out his hand and encourage him to believe. If you believe in who I am, then you can believe in your own ability to achieve what it is you want the most. And that is no different to you believing in what you desire. No prayer was required. The guy already explained that he's been a faithful servant of God for how many years, and he wasn't, and his prayers weren't answered. But in that moment, when he was inspired to do so, surrounded by other people who had that expectation of fulfillment. And right there is the key. It's the expectation. If you genuinely believe in something and you know it's going to happen, yes, that in itself, yes, is the power of belief, is the expectation of the result. That is the key thing. He didn't want to disappoint Jesus in that moment. And most of all, he didn't want to be seen to being a non-believer in that moment. So when your mind can move mountains for you, you just need to believe in it. And that is no different to what happened in that scene. There was no magic. There was no miracle. All Jesus did was instruct him to walk. And that's all he needed, was someone to believe in him, to believe in his ability to do that which he desired most. And sometimes that's all we need. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who believe what you believe. When you're around people who don't believe in you, when you're around people who do not see the greatness within you, the likelihood is you'll never fulfill your greatness, because you're not tapping into that inner spark that gives you the impetus, that gives you that extra bit of energy to make that thing happen. And that's why it's so important to check the company you keep. And that's why it's even more important to get into the habit of believing in yourself, because the more you get into the habit of believing in yourself, you won't need anybody to encourage you. You won't need prayer. You won't need to be relying on other people to clap for you or cheer you on. It will be self-fulfilled. Your word alone, you speaking to yourself in your mind, will be enough for you to realize all of your dreams. Everything you need, you already have. And I just want to encourage you all, no disrespect intended. I didn't want to use this clip in any blasphemous way or anything like that. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to turn their back on their beliefs or their religions or whatever it is. I'm not trying to discredit Jesus or God or anything like that. All I'm trying to do here is just remind you that you have the power within you already. You just need to believe. And it's as simple as that. I believe in you. Whatever it is you want, I believe you can do it. So what are you waiting for? Turn the switch, start believing. Thank you so much for all the encouragement and the nice messages you guys have sent me on my previous video about visualization. Nothing makes me smile more than to know that I've helped somebody in some small way.